Good morning. I'm Bex Carroll. I'm the principal at BIS Hanoi. Welcome to our first Leaders in Learning podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by Jenny McWalter, Group Head of Professional Learning for Nord Anglia. You've been in education for over 25 years and with more than 10 of those at NAE.
That's right.
Welcome, Jenny.
Thank you.
So today we're going to have a conversation about leadership, about learning, and most importantly, about the impact that we see in our schools on our students so they continue to receive excellence in education. So I want to start with a question and just invite you to sort of share your reflections on what do you feel are the biggest challenges happening in global education right now?
So I think some of the biggest challenges facing education are that we live in a very complex and a fast-paced changing world. And I think that makes education even more powerful and purposeful because the kinds of roles that the young people in our schools are going to go into mean they need to be equipped to deal with the level and extent of change happening in the world right now. And I think that's one of the very powerful things about the kind of education provided here in BIS Hanoi.
Yeah, and I think that sort of feeds into how the approach we have to our curriculum and the sort of skills that we're trying to nurture and develop in students, so to build the resilience, to be confident communicators and really prepare them for whatever challenges may get thrown at them in the future. I think you're in a unique position that you get to travel across and visit all our schools across the globe, our 90 plus schools. So what would you say is something that is unique in teachers across Nord Anglia Education?
So I do see amazing colleagues in all of our 90 schools. And one of the things I think sets our teachers apart, they are passionate, they are purposeful, they are very committed to providing highly personalised education for our students. They deeply understand the context of each of our individual schools. So while I go to schools in Bratislava, Beijing, Mexico to Madrid, it's how our teachers make our education relevant and personalised to our students in their contexts.
That resonates massively. We're in recruitment season at the moment here at BIS Hanoi, and one of the questions that I get asked by prospective teachers coming into our school is what are you looking for? And I think you've just sort of summarised that mindset that we need in teachers, because we want that commitment to continuous growth. We want people to join our teams and be part of a team because they want to continue to get better and grow as teachers or leaders or administrators. But also, it's not a one-size-fits-all with education. It's a how do we personalise this for this child, and how do we get to understand each individual learner so we can nurture the journey and the pathway that they're on in education.
Exactly, Bex. And I see it in that we have over 70,000 applicants applying to join our schools. So we are quite clearly attracting the world's best teachers.
So building on that, how do you feel our global resources for professional development impact on our teachers in schools around the world?
We're very lucky in Nord Anglia Education in that we get to work with world-leading experts in areas that are really important in all the curricula in our schools. So we've got collaborations with MIT, the world-leading institution in STEAM subjects. We have a collaboration with the Juilliard School, world leaders in the performing arts, IMGA, world-leading student leadership and sports academy. And then we also have a very strong programme of professional learning where our teachers get to become even greater experts in international education in that we offer a unique and bespoke master's with King's College London. So we take that expertise that our colleagues bring and we amplify that by connecting with world-leading experts in those areas. Each of those collaborations have a very strong programme of professional learning. So the expertise from MIT and Juilliard combined with the expertise of our teachers means our colleagues are looking at how do we make the performing arts even more impactful so that we're developing wonderful skills in our students around creativity, performance, curiosity. And it's combining that world-leading expertise. It's one of the reasons why our colleagues want to stay part of the group. And it's one of the reasons why colleagues tell us they join the group, because they enjoy learning from that expertise within the group and beyond the group.
Brilliant. And just last week, we had colleagues from Juilliard in delivering professional learning for staff, workshops, tailoring and supporting the curriculum delivery. But we also had them delivering a session. We had nearly 10 parents in with their children learning in a drama workshop led by Juilliard specialists. And there was a great atmosphere and energy and just really tapping into that external expertise that we have through our partnerships. But every year, I'm really proud to say we have staff going on the King's College Masters course every year. Myself, the head of primary, Laurence Caban, Lee Falconer, our head of secondary, are all graduates of the senior leadership programme within Nord Anglia. And there's many, many more success stories to tell just within our school where our staff are benefiting every single year from the professional learning and development opportunities that are available to us through being part of Nord Anglia.
So tell me a bit more about that, Bex, because I obviously see some of the global initiatives that we have. Talk to me a bit more about the professional learning in BIS Hanoi and what impact you see that having on BIS Hanoi students.
So firstly, it starts with our culture. If we want our staff to learn and have that, we talk about global citizens learning together. We as leaders, and I myself as a leader, am role modelling that commitment to learning and drive for improvement. We often say to our parents, we're not a perfect school, we're not aiming for perfection, but we are continuing to get better and better. And we are here in Hanoi, we've been established for 14 years, and every year we have proven to get better. And how that translates into our staff is much like our students learning, we're personalising it to their needs. We apply the same approach with staff development. So people are at different points in their teaching journey, their leadership journey, and we look at where they are and where they want to go and what we can do to nurture and support that growth and development. And we have, again, just citing some recent examples from INSET, where we have middle leaders standing up and delivering training and initiatives in the school, and we get a range of staff who are leading at different points on different areas, and that feeds into our culture and our drive for development and excellence.
And I see that because a privilege of my role is I do get to see the practice in our family of schools. And something that stands out to me in this school is a culture of high expectations. Students are supported to make academic progress, but social and emotional progress. And I see lots of very personalised education about what is it your learners want to do, who do they want to be, and how are your teachers really supporting each of our students to do and be who and what they can be. And it's something that I do notice as a particular strength of this school.
Yeah, building on that, the conversations that we have our whole school priorities, and we're developing our staff in line with those. So if you go into our early years setting, you'll see the coaching and expertise that our staff are benefiting from external professionals, leaders in early years, having weekly conversations and development conversations with our staff and professional dialogue. And you see that in the quality of the provision and the play-based learning that teachers are delivering day in, day out. And what we know, Jenny, as educators, is that when you get that quality foundation years experience, it sets every child on the pathway for excellence in their future learning journey.
Well, and we're seeing it here, because we have a number of students behind us who are demonstrating, from my perspective, curiosity. They are demonstrating purpose. We see so many examples from the early years, foundation stage onwards, these incredible skills that are connected to the key things that students need through their education journey. I get the greatest pleasure from spending time with our younger students, and for me, it starts there. So Bex, in my role, I have the privilege of seeing many of the global professional learning initiatives that are unique to Nord Anglia. But give us a sense of what professional learning looks like here in BIS Hanoi.
So at the centre of everything we do is our students. They are the reason that we have this commitment to development, and because we want to be delivering excellence every day. But there are three key ingredients in our professional learning policy and ethos at BIS. So we need to harness the experience and expertise that we already have in the building. And we're talking about hundreds of years collectively, Jenny, here. And we invest. So we invest in professional learning for our teachers. So in early years, we have a specialist coach in the UK supporting our early years practitioners to deliver high quality learning through play, right up to IB, where we're investing in IB development courses for our secondary teachers. But the key final ingredient is the context. And the reason that's important is because we need to know what our learners need, how we develop our teachers to be able to deliver that. We know that our parents value the experience in our staff because they tell us in the parent satisfaction survey every year, and we know that they value our commitment to development. And I think sort of what sits outside of this is that you can be, or maybe inside at the heart of it, coming back to the students, is that we invest in teachers and their development, but then it's about how they deliver it in the classroom and how that impacts what they do every day. And at the heart of that is excellent relationships between our teachers and our students that really create the right environment for our learners so they take risks in their learning, they're curious, they ask questions, and they thrive every day. We've just seen children out at play, and obviously we have staff on duty, but for the staff that aren't outside on duty, what you actually see when you walk around this school is staff engaged in conversations. And what they're doing at that point is talking about, how did that go? What was that like for your students? And they're learning from each other, and they're sharing strategies and reflections that help then, even from one lesson to the next within a day, raise the bar because their expectations are high. They want to deliver excellence for our students.
Exactly. And I sometimes describe it as moving knowledge and practice around and breaking it down really simply. When you get teachers talking about what's helping students learn, that is when you really see the expertise of our teachers, and you see them sharing these things but applying it to how's that helping each individual student. It's phenomenal when you see teachers having those conversations day in, day out.
And the culture, which you asked about this school. So when we meet as a leadership team every Monday, we have a moment at the beginning to celebrate individuals in our school. And this is where assistant heads of primary and secondary, deputy heads talk and spotlight excellence that is happening within their teams. And that allows us to go and congratulate, praise, ensure that staff feel valued and get that recognition, because that gives them their drive, as well as the students, to sort of keep going and sort of feel valued in our school. So Jenny, my final question for you today: if you could distill all your expertise and knowledge down for us a little bit into some advice, some nuggets of advice, what advice would you give to teachers who are listening to this podcast in terms of what are the key skills that you feel are important for teachers to hone in on as they, look ahead for the next 5 years navigating through education?
So I think it's actually about building on so many of the skills that brilliant teachers already have. For me, it would be curious. Be curious about what our students want and need. Be curious about the kind of challenges that are faced in the education sector and how you can, through your practice, navigate some of those challenges. And linked to that, it's about being flexible. And that is, teachers are brilliant at personalising education, finding out what really interests and excites children and making connections between the subject matter expertise that teachers have and connecting that to what children care about and are interested in. How can you adapt your practice and be really flexible in continuously meeting those needs? And the other big one for me is creativity. I think that teachers are some of the most creative people I have ever met. And when teachers are curious and flexible, willing to take risks, willing to find that thing that ignites curiosity and excites children, using their creative skills to help find those things and tap into the creativity of other colleagues. Because whatever the issue, there are colleagues who have expertise you can benefit from. There's expertise that you can lend. So how can colleagues harness that collective creativity to benefit the children in your classroom, but the children across the world in all of our schools?
So thanks for being with us. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for welcoming me back into school. This is, I think, the 4th time that I've been to your school, and it is a privilege to see the continuous journey of improvement and seeing the impact of all the professional learning opportunities on students and seeing the progress they're making. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening today. We hope you've enjoyed the discussion and the podcast. If you have any suggestions of other topics that you'd like to hear, please comment below. See you next time.